At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at belisiofoods.com/careers.
Well, happy Monday, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where it is a beautiful sunny Monday, and we have the new Jackson High School athletic director here.
Hi, nice to be here.
Well, it's so good to have you here, and I guess if you want to introduce yourselves, I'm sure most people know who you are. But
Sure. So my name is Waylon, and I taught for 19 years at the high school, and as of January 1st, I took over for Pat Stevens as the new athletic director.
Well, and I know that you have some big shoes to fill because Pat, did such a good job, but I know that you're going to kick some butt.
Well, thanks. Yeah. People say like don't ever follow a legend, and I'm following Bob Kite,
Yeah.
a local legend, and then a Hall of Famer in Pat. So I guess I didn't listen to that advice very well. So I'll do the best I can.
Hey, you're a legend in the making. How's that?
Let's hope so. Yeah.
Yes, very good. So, so you started off teaching at the what? At the high
I was
school?
at the high school. Yeah.
What were you teaching?
I taught mostly government. Yeah.
Okay.
So I had 1 year in the old building, which is now the middle school, and then I've been at the high school since. So after 19 years, I thought it's time for a change, and this has been awesome.
So now you can't teach and do the athletic
job. That was the worst part. Was I had a really good group of kids this year. I taught AP classes, and having to tell them that I was leaving mid-year, but they were in good hands. Morgan Williams took over for them, and he didn't skip a beat. He was great, and they loved him, and they probably forgot about me by the end of the year.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I get it. So let's talk for a minute about, you were saying, we were talking off the air about, the athletic director. I don't think a lot of people understand how much is involved in the job.
Yeah. I didn't know. I mean, I think it's been overwhelming some days.
I'll bet.
So basically what I do generally is I'm in charge of scheduling all of our games, communicating with other athletic directors, setting those up, and then getting officials for those games and busing. And we have assigners that help, and Glenna Bierup is wonderful with busing. And then I've got a wonderful secretary, Kim Damron, who does, she takes care of all of our invoices and billing. So I have a lot of help, but it's been overwhelming. Some days, there are some days where I'm like, I've got this under control. And then some days I think I don't know what I'm doing.
Just holding on for dear life.
Yeah. Fake it while I make it. That's right. Yeah.
No, hey, listen, as long as the runaway freight train stays on the tracks, you're fine. Yeah. That's always been my philosophy.
Yeah, that's right. Well, when I got hired, Mr. Howard told me, he said, now listen, there are only 5 days that you can't mess up. And I said, okay, it's 5 home football games. So everything else I can say I'm sorry and learn from. He said, don't screw those up. So that's coming up. So if I can get through those 5 days, I think they'll bring me back next year.
There you go. Well, that's very good. So you were mentioning, Waylon, that Jackson High School is kind of implementing something new, and it's so exciting.
Yeah, it's been really great to get in on the beginning of this. When I took over, there was a binder that said Athletic Hall of Fame, and it was something that Pat and the board had talked about right before COVID. And then COVID, of course, killed everything. Yeah, absolutely everything. So I am happy to announce that we are starting an Athletic Hall of Fame, right? So we are going to start hopefully this fall. We've got our committee together. They're going to write their bylaws and figure out what it takes. But if we can get everything together this summer, hopefully this fall, we'll have our first ever Jackson High School Athletic Hall of Fame class come in. which, as anyone
That
who
is
knows,
so
yeah,
good.
super excited about it. And I'm sure people that are native to Jackson understand what sports mean to this community. And it's going to be awesome, right? We've got a company lined up. We've got a big digital kiosk that they'll be able to go to and click on all of the classes and read biographies on all of the members. We want to bring them back during football
that's
games.
fun.
Yeah, it's going to be super great. And there's a web link that for people who can't get back in town, they'll be able to go on the web and they'll see all of that stuff. And we have really big plans because that's just a part of what that kiosk can do. We'd eventually like to have it where we can look at old playbills for plays, and yearbooks can be digitized, and we can go back and see all of the staff pictures, so you can go back and look at your old teachers. So it is a huge opportunity,
Oh
and
my gosh.
super excited to be part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. On top of everything else
Well,
that
yeah,
you do.
yeah. Well, every time I get overwhelmed, I'm thinking, well, at least we've got that going, and I think people are going to be so excited to get to see that, and I'm excited. I can't wait to see the debate. Obviously, with older people and who they grew up watching versus some of the younger people and who they've seen. Different sports. I mean, there is going to be a lot of debate on who should be in the first class, and
I mean, the pressure's on, you
Yeah.
know, the very first
right.
class.
I know, right? And you know, we've got some state champions. I think they'll make great teams. We've got some wonderful coaches, some great classes. So I'm super excited to see what it is. You know, I'm not originally from Jackson, but after 20 years, I consider myself part of the community, and I just think that's going to create such a buzz. And then we want to bring those people back and have a banquet and talk to them and let them tell their stories. And we're lucky. We're kind of borrowing from other schools around that have already done this, so we don't have to start from zero. But
Yeah,
we're
you don't
super
have to
excited.
reinvent that
Yeah,
wheel.
that's right. Yeah, but we're super excited, and we're going to be reaching out to the community because we want their input, right, in terms of
Sure.
nominations and who they think. And you know, we'll eventually be asking for records, right? We've got football records thanks to people like Randy Heath and Dan Morrow. We've got wonderful football and basketball records, but once you get outside those sports, we're going to need some help in terms of compiling records and statistics. So we'll be reaching out soon. Hopefully we'll get this to be a community project.
I think that's so wonderful. And, you know, sports, like we were talking, you know, our sweet Dylan here just graduated, but, you know, was part of the esports team, and they're adding sports all the time. I know, like the fishing team and like all of this stuff. So great for you that you get to to keep adding stuff onto your plate. But there's so many more sports being added all the time,
and that's wonderful. I was just talking to Matt McKee about fishing. This was our first year for fishing. I want to thank the people at Oak Hill because we basically went down and picked their brains because their program is top notch. And we came back, and Jeff Strauser is our first coach, and Jeff from zero built a fishing program that sent 2 kids to the state or the national finals.
Nuts?
It's amazing, and the support. You know, we rely on the community so much for donations and the booster groups, but to see these people get so excited about donating fishing reels and tackle boxes and money for sponsorships and things, that it was a whole different group, and to get to see kids just like with esports, right? Kids who maybe had never worn a JI as part of a team now are, and
Correct.
it was so much. You got to see the pride, and when the fishing jerseys came, it was like, oh, it was definitely worth the little bit of extra work it took. So we're super excited. You know, we've got possibly archery on the horizon. We went.
I want to play.
Yeah. Well, we'll bring you in. We'll let you shoot some targets. So yeah, we actually went to we went to Huntington Ross, and they've got their own building for archery, and they are a national power. And we kind of got some ideas from them and brought that back. And St. Peter and Paul, they had archery equipment that they're not going to be using, so we bought that from them.
Oh, okay.
And the way archery works is you have to introduce it in the schools first, and then have a team. So Jake Taylor had it in his gym class this year. And he and Mr. Swackhammer are like national archery trained now, so they can be coaches. So I don't know if it'll be this year or next year, but that'll be a whole nother group of kids who have never had that feeling of getting on a bus to go support your school. And yeah, I love that stuff, right? That's to me, that's as exciting as a Friday night victory.
100%. And, you know, I guess when you think about high school athletics, of course, basketball, football, baseball come to mind. And there are so many other sports out there and so many kids that are talented. You know, like our cheerleaders win a national championship.
Absolutely.
Like these kids are so talented.
Yeah, there's just not enough. I mean, there's not enough time to celebrate all of them individually, but it's like every time we celebrate a group of kids, we're like, well, we really need to mention these kids because they did it too. And you don't want any kid to fall through the cracks and lose track. So it's just awesome. And the sports do a great job at their end of the year banquets where they really do that. And maybe we can do something where we highlight kids a little more, maybe have athletes of the week. I know the paper does one for each school, so maybe that's something we could do in-house. But yeah, I mean, it's
awesome.
amazing the amount of kids and the amount of work and time they put into it that you don't see is crazy.
Well, and I think about athletics from when I was in school a few years ago versus now. And you know, I'm not saying it wasn't year round or you didn't work out or you didn't do whatever, but it wasn't nearly as much involvement as it is now. And I mean, it's just they eat, sleep, breathe the sports and have to do their schoolwork on top of that and work or do, you know, anything else that kids have to do.
It's amazing. I
don't know how they do it.
No, I wrote a lot of letters of recommendation for kids, and it blows my mind. I mean, I played sports. I had a part-time job growing up, but I mean, what I did paled in comparison to what some of these kids do. But you're right. Some of these sports are year-round. I know in high school I would find my baseball glove in the beginning of March and be like, okay, it's baseball season.
Right.
There are no seasons now.
You start having like some practices and then you play.
Yeah, now it's every sport is basically can be full year, and that's one of the things that we are trying to work on is making sure our coaches realize that we want kids to be multiple sport kids. You know, let them have different experiences and let them it's probably unlikely they're going to go pro in anything. So let them have those experiences, and of course every coach wants they want as much time as they can. I get it, but it's gotten a lot on kids. I don't know when they find time to sleep or have fun.
I don't either. I know just in talking with Dylan, like, I mean, it's just crazy all the stuff that they do and whatever. So yeah, kudos to the kids today because
I don't know how they do it either. No,
it's a good thing they have lots of energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Like I say, I don't know when they find time to sleep. No idea.
Well, very good. Well, what were some of the other things that we should address? I know that the Hall of Fame is a really, really cool one.
Yeah.
And hopefully, that can get done pretty quickly. And because it's not going to be hard to find kids or people to nominate for that. It's going to be a free-for-all, honestly. It's going to be wild at first.
I'm glad to be a non-voting member of that
yes,
committee. I'm going to try to MC
not
it. Yeah, I do. Yeah, nose goes. I don't want to be a part of that. Let other people fight that out because I know everyone has, in their opinion, who should be.
Yeah.
So otherwise, so I took over for, like I said, when I took over for Pat. One of the things I realized talking to Mr. Swackhammer, Tyler Swackhammer, and Doug Wooten is, our building, a lot of people in the community still consider it the new high school, but it is 20 years old. And
my God!
Yeah,
really?
I know. Yeah, this is the 20th year, so it's starting to show some wear and tear. I know. I spent 1 year in the old building, I say, and I'm like, the old high school, and people are like, what? I'm like, yeah, no, never mind, yeah.
Hey, I went to the old high school.
Yeah. Well, I student taught at what was Lick Middle School under Buck Donnelly years and years ago, and I've mentioned that a couple times, and the kids look at me like I'm an alien.
Yeah, fun fact is I was the first 7th grade class, so when they made Lick a middle school, it was 6th and 7th grade, but... So we went as 7th graders. So there were 6th graders there too, but we didn't do that. So
you got to break it in. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So one of the things that we've noticed is that some of the stuff is starting to show its age at the school. So a couple of other things that we're excited about. If you've been in the gymnasium, we have a lot of banners, and they're starting to show their age, their wear and tear. Mm-hmm. And there's also that transition from the old SEOL to the new FAC.
Yes.
And so we had different colors and different fonts. So we were able to get some money, and Mr. Swackhammer is leading that charge. We're going to take down every banner, and we're going to put up nice new ones. If you've been to Miami Trace, they're kind of, I think a lot of our community, when they go to away games, they see it being a newer school, the things they have and the way they've done it. So we're pulling down all the banners. We're going to update those.
Cool.
And we had some dates that were a little off. So we're going to reach out to the community a little bit and ask, make sure those are okay. So we'll have those. We'll put up the 1,000-point scorers. We're going to do 1,000 club for volleyball. Try to recognize some other sports. We'll have state champion banners. So we're going to try to dress that up a little bit.
Love that.
We're excited about that. We're doing some audio upgrades. I know that was my number one complaint, was that people felt like at the football field, they were getting blasted by the speakers, and then there were places that were a little bit dead. And actually, right before graduation, almost everything went out. And our wonderful tech guys, I don't know how they did it, but they basically rewired and configured and duct taped everything together to get through graduation. But
Like literally, probably duct taped it together.
it looked like a Frankenstein's monster. So they are. We're in the middle of getting quotes for upgrades. So hopefully the stadium will sound better.
Right.
The gymnasium's getting upgrades. Those speakers are 20 years old, so getting some new speakers there. So hopefully you'll get a better experience when you come to games. We put some new ticket booths in at the baseball field and softball fields. Just our ticket takers were basically taking tickets out in a lawn chair with an umbrella, and we wanted something to make them a little more comfortable because it's hard to get people to do that job. So we were able to get some ticket booths. So just little things like that where we've tried to kind of upgrade and modernize the fields. We've got some bigger plans. I can't talk about them because we're waiting. I know you have to bring me back.
What?
We're waiting with some more donations because obviously everything pretty much comes through what the community is willing to help us with. But we're excited. The middle school just got new windows in their press box, so things that people might not notice right away, but we're excited about because they're nicer, newer, safer. So we're excited about those. So slowly making headway. So pretty excited.
That's so good. And you don't think about that high school and the middle school even as it was redone as well. Being 20 years old. Oh my gosh, it's brand new, right?
Well, that's the first even up to a couple years ago, I'm like, yeah, just take it to the new high school. I'll meet you at the new high school, and people are like, "What's the new high school?" So, no, I guess
just the high school.
The high school now. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is hilarious. Well, it sounds like you guys are well on your way, and again, all of this takes money, and everybody wants their kids to have the nicest stuff,
Right.
and we get that. But just things like banners and whatever, they cost so much money.
Yeah.
People don't know.
Well, we had to raise our ticket prices this year. I know that was probably the least popular thing I've done. That was a league-wide decision, but they did go to $7 for an individual, and we kind of bumped up the season passes to go along with that. But you're right. I mean, the inflation.
Oh my gosh.
People, I'm sure, realize every time they go to the store. I just paid $6 for a bag of Doritos, but that's happening in the athletic world too. So everything has gone up, and
trust me, I get it.
We were just hemorrhaging money, and that's with being, I think, really good stewards of our money. We still at the point where it was just we didn't factor in the price of gas and the price of balls and the price of dirt 15 years ago whenever we set these at $5. So we've had to do that, but you're right. When I took this job over, the biggest thing that I've realized is I always thought support groups were like, oh, they're going to buy the kids a T-shirt or they're going to feed the kids Subway. But it's more than that. Like we would not have sports. We would be doing pay to play right now. I guarantee it. If it weren't for our support groups, they do everything that's not paying the coaches and paying the fuel bills. So I know people get tired of getting hit up, and I had no idea until I took this job that what our support groups do. And I just wanted to give a shout out to all the people who do donate. And I know I've heard from people that get frustrated, but we really can't do what we could. I mean, it might be a skeleton. If you think of the schools around us that don't have what we have, that's because they don't have the booster support. The schools really, we can barely function without them. So please shop local and shop our donors. And
correct.
We let all of our students in for free to every game, which is amazing. Our student attendance shot up when that happened. But again, someone had to pay for that, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't the schools; it was all of the local businesses who, without asking for anything in return, sent us checks to help us out. And it's been amazing. And I hate going and asking because I know it's constant for those guys and gals. But it's the reality of the situation.
It is. And if we want our kids, we get a bad rap down here in Appalachia for being a bunch of hillbillies or whatever. And, if we want our kids to have the niceties that, we don't live in Dublin.
Right.
Let's just be honest. We don't pay the taxes that they pay in Dublin and some of the, hoity-toity communities. 100%. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that if we want our kids to have the same amenities as, the bigger cities or the more well-off cities, we're going to have to fork out for them to do it. So how could people help if need be?
Yeah.
Or if they feel it.
Yeah. If you, if you are an individual who just wants to help out, feel free to stop by the school. We're always looking for volunteers in terms of time. If you don't have the financial ability to help, I mean,
Oh, that's a good
we would
idea.
love to have anyone. I mean, every person that volunteers is one less person that we have to pay. So we'd love to have volunteers. Any group any sport that your son or daughter is a part of, or someone in the community is a part of, if you want to help out, get involved in the booster club. I feel like we see the same faces over and over, the same officers, the same people. So get involved, work in the concessions. Those are little things where we're not asking financially, but obviously if you've got the means, if you'd like to help financially, stop in, right? If it's a specific sport or program, we can make sure your money gets donated there or gets earmarked for that. If it's just I want to help kids out, you can call me directly and we'll talk about where you'd like to see your money go or who you'd like to see it help. We have some people who will tell us, off the record, hey, don't donate to football and basketball. This needs to go to the sports that don't have,
Sure.
right? Because we have some sports that have almost no support. But then we have people who said, I grew up playing Ironman football. I love it. I want to see my money go there. And absolutely, right? So we won't turn down anything. But more than anything, just come and support the kids, right? I mean, even if you can't if you can't give financially, we'd love to see not just Friday nights be packed, but come to a girls' basketball game, right? Come to a cross country event and stand near the finish line and scream your head off for the kids. Because some kids, unfortunately, don't have people that are screaming for them, right? And I think that's something we can really do.
Yeah, no, I think that all of that is such a good idea, and it costs you zero.
That's right, yeah.
Other than some time.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. You talk about Dublin, and they do have means that we'll never have, but they also have a lot of two-parent houses and brothers and sisters who come support, and you see that from K-12, and then these families they're supporting, and that's something that I think a lot of times where we don't have that, right? You might have a grandparent bringing you or riding with a friend. So come support the kids, right? If nothing else, come and make them feel like they're special.
Adopt a kid for a day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, come down. Yeah, adopt a kid.
Be their cheerleader.
We'll get your shirt with their picture on it. We'll do that, right? That
I
sounds
love
good.
that.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
such a good idea. No, there's a lot of if there's single parents or like you said, grandparents or whatever, and they can't get to all the games because they're working or whatever. But kids, want support and they want people there cheering for them. So do that.
Yeah, and we've had families, we've had people in the community come and say, "Hey, I want to buy 2 extra, season passes. Give those to people who don't have them. Give those to people who can't have them." And those are things that happen daily, and those people don't want the recognition. They're just doing the right thing.
Sure.
And that's happened so much. For every big banner you see, which we appreciate those people, there are people that are doing these micro givings too that are just like, oh, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that. Or people come and they'll drop off. I know Kelly Wilson is doing, she just took over girls golf, and she put out a Facebook message, hey, if anyone has any equipment, and you should have seen the equipment that came in, balls and clubs and bags and carts, people just wanting to help, right? And it's amazing. Yeah.
Awesome.
And again, non-financial, but we love to see that too.
Yeah. Like you said, the rods and reels for the fishing team.
Absolutely.
And, the esports kids getting their jerseys. And like, there's just so much stuff that it's just good.
Yeah. It has been, as much as the classroom is rewarding, this has been too. I mean, in a completely different way. But, seeing kids get to represent their school and get to go into the community and get that recomnition, it's been awesome.
Yeah. Well, very good. Well, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And we're so happy to have you. And, Pat did a wonderful job. Bob did a wonderful job. And we know Mr. Waylon's going to do a wonderful job as well. And I know that you have your work cut out for you, but it's going to be a good thing.
Yeah. Feel free to stop and talk anytime other than Friday nights, right? I'll be running around crazy.
He's not allowed to mess up Friday night football.
Any other time, feel free to stop and give me any suggestions on what I need to do better. Yeah.
Just if you see him running around at a football game, just zip it.
Wait till Saturday morning, please.
Wait till Saturday. Well, very good. Waylon Massey, thank you for stopping in today. Of course, new Jackson High School athletic director, and good luck to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
It'll be great. So, all right. And we have, I think, Pete waiting in the wings to do some news here. So we're going to grab him. And in the meantime, Dylan, you have that weather forecast for your Jackson County Fair? All right. Let's go over that. You got to hit the weather. There you go, Dylan. Thank you, buddy. This is what happens when he has a weekend off. Thank you. All right. So today they are calling for actually really good temperatures for the next few days. And, but some 50-50, well, earlier it said 50-50. Now it says 90% chance of rain. So I have no idea. For your Jackson County Fair Monday, I don't believe it's going to rain that much. All right. So tomorrow on Tuesday, a little chance of rain in the forecast, highs in the mid 80s. Wednesday, a little cooler, highs of only 83, which is fantastic for the fair. But that 70% chance of rain kind of lingers on. But that doesn't mean it's going to rain for sure. It just means there's a chance. So looks like about mid to lower 80s for the rest of your Jackson County Fair. And that will be a very, very good thing because typically it's about 95 degrees. All right. Well, Jeremiah's coming in. Hi, buddy. Jeremiah survived chasing semi trucks down the highway yesterday.
Oh my goodness, this guy's sitting on the floor over here. Help me put this chair back up.
He's-
Good morning, Jim.
He really did run in here. He's like,
Oh.
good morning, buddy.
Hi, good morning. Yeah, chasing a semi down the highway.
Dude,
there.
I'm just gonna tell you. Well, I'm sure we'll get to that. But
yeah, Pete's gonna talk more about it, but I can tell you a little bit about that morning.
I was
yesterday
telling
morning.
you this yesterday morning. Jamie and I were like headed. It was like right at 10:30, and we were headed to Chillicothe, and we're like driving down the highway. We're like, why is there a semi truck like sitting in the middle of the road going this way? We're like, how did that happen? And
Yes.
they hadn't even stopped traffic at that point. Like they were
Right.
just letting people go through.
Yep, they had
And
the
so,
one lane open there.
and I was like, oh, maybe they swerved to, miss a deer, or you're thinking of all of these things as to
Tire
how this,
blowout,
how
or,
this
yeah,
semi truck ends up in the middle of the highway. So we get about halfway to Chillicothe, about Richmonddale, and we got the Nixle thing from the sheriff's office said the road was closed, and I was like, that's weird. And then we found out the story.
Yeah, that was an interesting morning yesterday morning. I was working on fair stuff, Jen.
I know, as if you don't have enough stuff to do this
it's
weekend.
fair week, and it's Monday, and I'm already wore out, Jen.
I bet.
We still got a ways to go till we get through I'm telling you what, Jen. The livestock sales on Friday.
Yes.
And so I spent 2-3 hours out there interviewing 4-H'ers yesterday. And
Okay.
after seeing all the animals, I think me and Pete's going to be there for a long time on Friday.
Oh no.
I think every single pen, every single stall. I mean, and they added ducks this year, so that's probably
Yes.
another 100 animals. We're going to be out there till probably midnight. I
Oh
would say.
boy.
If not later. It's gonna
Yeah.
be a long night on Friday. But anyhow, I was sitting there working on fair stuff, and somebody messaged me through my Facebook news personality
Yeah.
account, was like, "Hey, I'm heading towards Chillicothe."
Well, I
and
need to
there's
get your number because I was like going to
know.
send
I
you a
want to-
picture. I didn't have.
yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't have Jeremiah's number
to
to
give
send him
you
a picture of
I'll have
this.
to give you my number since you don't have it there. But they messaged me and they were like, "Hey, I'm heading towards Chillicothe, and there's this semi barreling down 35 past the rest area with all this law enforcement behind it."
I mean, there were cops everywhere.
Yeah.
Like you should have seen how many cops there were.
Yeah, so I grabbed my phone and my camera and my scanner and hopped in the car and headed out towards the highway. And on my
He's
way
like,
out,
oh no, on top of all the fair stuff.
I know. And on my way out, I heard over the scanner, he's in reverse. He's in reverse. And I was like, okay, he's on 35 going in reverse somewhere. And I was just probably minutes away.
Yeah, down the
from
wrong lane of
seeing-
traffic.
He was, yes. And he was in the going east in the westbound lane.
Yes, backwards.
But he was going forward at one point. And he blew 2 tires, and he was just, I don't know where he thought he was going. But
We had the same discussion
yeah,
yesterday.
I was just minutes away from probably coming around the curve there and seeing him coming down the westbound lanes.
Yeah.
I just missed it all because I heard it all on scanner traffic, and as I was getting there, like you said, the one lane was still open, so I was able to get by and park on the other side of the highway.
Yeah.
And get out and talk to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office about it. Yeah, Dylan's showing pictures here of the scene.
And
So
you're
when I got out there,
wondering
there
how that happened, aren't you all?
yeah. So this semi was, Pete will go into more detail, but this semi was stolen out of Greene County. I think it was Jamestown, which
Yeah.
isn't far from
Who
Fayette
the heck
County.
steals a semi, and how do you do that?
Yeah, I don't know, but it was stolen out of Greene County. I guess we were told the chase picked up in Fayette County, which is right there,
Right.
near Jamestown.
Yeah.
And it went through Fayette County, went through Ross County, and then even into Jackson County here. And you're maybe a mile from Chillicothe Pike,
Yeah.
I think, from this point. And outside of Richmonddale, they use those stop sticks.
Yes.
And you could see on that last picture Dylan showed a couple of the tires blown there on the passenger side. But the smell individual was taken in custody. The sheriff's office
taken
took
in
him
custody,
down.
all right.
Yeah, took him down, and I believe he's incarcerated in Chillicothe. But Pete's working to get some more details about that. But it was quite an interesting scene out there.
Okay, well, we'll wait for Pete to.
Yeah, I'm sure Pete will have a little more detail, and that was
crazy.
Never know what you're going to have when
Wasn't
it comes to the news.
We were just driving down the road, and we're like, "What?" All of these scenarios are going through your mind,
Right.
like how did that truck get
Yes.
there?
Yeah.
And never in my wildest dreams did it was stolen and dude was driving in reverse down the highway.
Right. I'd be interested.
That was not in my thoughts.
I'd be interested to hear how fast, like during the chase, he was going and
Yeah.
stuff. It'll be neat to get all the details.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
Pete has a call in to the Ross County Sheriff to
Okay.
talk to him to get some more detail about the person that was involved.
Yeah, there were
charges
so there
and
were
stuff
law
like that.
enforcement from all of these different and that was, I guess, the one thing that struck me was I was like, why are there Ross County, like there were sheriffs and stuff from everywhere,
Yeah.
and I was like, why
Yeah,
would that be? And I guess it didn't even dawn on me that
I'm sure there was more out there by the time I got there. There was at least, I counted 7 law enforcement vehicles when I arrived on
they
the
were
scene.
everywhere.
There may have been more, but
Yeah.
Anyhow. That's a wild
That's
story.
That's just not something you plan on a Sunday.
Right. So Pete wanted me to come in and just kind of do a recap of the fair.
Yeah, I love that.
I know we kind of talked about. I know we I can't remember when I was in last week and talked about the fair. Was it on Monday or later in the week? I don't know. It all runs together.
Yeah.
But the fair kind of kicked off with a soft opening on Wednesday, July 12th.
Yes.
And they had that. The only thing going on was that new livestock show, which was the one you like, the Markets Tier Carcass Class show.
Yes.
They had that. I went out. They had 6 4-H'ers showing that.
Uh-huh.
And they placed those steers, and they've been shipped off to be slaughtered at Circle M
Yes.
Meats. So they will be hanging those carcasses for folks to come out and check out, and that'll be at noon on Thursday, July 20th. And there will be somebody coming down from the Ohio State University from that extension up there
Yeah.
to judge and grade the meat.
Yeah.
So that'll be going on Thursday. And you had 2 nights of hardness racing. I talked to Chris Walls. There was, I think, 8 races on Thursday, 11
Mhm.
races on Friday.
That's awesome.
They had 110 horses out there between the 2 nights.
Wow.
So lots of betting out there, and people always enjoy betting on those horses out there because they do the
Parimutual.
yes wagers. So that was something.
So what's your philosophy on betting on the ponies? Mine's the
I
prettiest
mean,
outfit.
I don't know. I'd have to go. I haven't really been out there for that. I've seen pictures.
You
and,
gotta have a way to bet on the ponies. Jeremiah.
I feel like a name. Maybe
That's what Pete said.
Yeah, I feel like I would pick based on a name.
Yeah.
Be like, that one. I like its name.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Pete said that if it said something like editor or something, he would do it.
Yeah, he said the name too. If it spoke to him. My dad always said the horse with the longest legs. So
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes
I don't know.
sense. Maybe they gallop faster. However that works.
I don't think they gallop.
Do they gallop? They
they
run?
pace.
The pace? I don't know. That tells you what I know about horses. So then, Saturday, July 15th, we had the official opening of the fair, Jen.
Yeah.
They held the opening ceremonies. There were scholarship presentations and the crowning of the 2023 Jackson County Fair royalty.
Yay.
Now, there were summer rain showers on Saturday.
I saw some of that.
Yeah, so the ceremony did not take place at the Midway stage. Instead, it took place inside the Joe Morgan Memorial Livestock Arena.
Okay.
Is where it took place this year. And in all my years doing this, there's only been a handful of times that I can recall them doing the opening ceremonies down there.
Yeah.
And I can never remember them doing the crowning ceremony in the arena.
It
So
was
that
very
was-
rainy. And, you think about all those girls with their dresses
Yes.
and all of that. You can't have them running around in the rain. Not cool.
Right. And so everybody got to stay happy and dry underneath that because there's a lot of seating and everything. And a little bit about that down there. The Jackson Mayor Randy Evans acted as the MC for the opening ceremonies.
Okay, great.
And he welcomed everybody to the fair. Derek Allison sang the national anthem this year for that. And Jackson County Fair Board President Mike Farley, he said a few words, and he noted the typical fair weather, rainy and hot, which
Yep.
he expected to be going on this week. And he also mentioned that there was a new ride company this year, and I've learned that ride company's name is Albanese
Okay,
Amusements, and they were starting the setup when I was up there yesterday.
cool.
So that'll be kind of a little bit of a different scene maybe up there on the Midway. So if you come to the fair and expect to see some of those familiar rides, they may not be there this year because I'm not sure what all this ride company has.
Okay.
So be aware of that. Let's see. First year 4-H youth development educator Maddie Alman spoke and gave a brief history about the 4-H program and kind of talked a little bit about how we got to the 168th annual
Can you believe
168th annual Jackson County Fair.
Nuts.
And she kind of touched on some of those different dates over the years that kind of led to the success that it is today.
Mhm.
Kelly Johnson, who is the Southeast Ohio District Director for Senator J.D. Vance, was there and
Okay.
presented the Fair Board with a proclamation on behalf of Vance, and hoped that the fair had a good week.
Good.
And there were a number of 4-H scholarships presented to youth. Those receiving scholarships were Jenna Lewis, Grant Maston, Elizabeth Fannin, Ivory Gentry, Hayden, I think it's Fitherman. Fleeman, okay. Brandon, I don't think it's Brandon. The gentleman there in the blue. Braden, I think it's Braden Lewis, Olivia Moore, and Grace Simpson. And that doesn't go with the picture there. In the picture, from left to right, I got a cut line here I can read you. You have, that's Elizabeth Fannin, Grant Maston, Hayden Fleeman, Grace Simpson, Braden Lewis, Ivy Gentry, Olivia Moore, and Jenna Lewis there
Very
for
good.
the scholarships.
Cool.
And then also during the opening ceremonies, they kind of wrap things up down there with the official crowning of the 2023 Queen and Court. And we have, I think, a crowning photo.
I do not have one right now. I'll try to find one.
Okay. I think it's on the desktop. If you look on your desktop there, I had them all in the top corner there. I think there was a crowning picture, maybe not. But
By God,
I
we
got
got
so
a
many
semi-truck
pictures.
picture, though.
Yeah, got so many pictures. But anyhow, following in her sister's footsteps,
Mhm.
Madeline Fannin was crowned the 2023 Jackson County Fair Queen. Fannon's big sister, Elizabeth Fannin, was the 2020 Jackson County Fair Queen, and she ruled during the COVID
Yeah,
health
she was
pandemic.
the COVID queen.
She was the COVID queen, as Madeline likes to put it. And, I asked Madeline how it felt to be crown queen. And I quote, she said, "I don't really know because I was so nervous setting up there. It's just surreal because I never thought, one, I'd try out, and two, I never thought I'd win." She said, "It's like a dream, and I don't know if it'll ever sink in." And she told me that her sister inspired her through everything she has done in 4-H.
Yes.
And she said, "Elizabeth is a big part of why I am queen." That's what she told me following the crowning ceremony. Other royalty included Jasmine Clarkson, first attendant, Rebecca Shaw, second attendant, Natalie Allison was the grades 9-10 attendant,
Mhm.
Nevaeh Hightower was grades 7-8 attendant, Abigail Cooper was grades 5-6 attendant, Michaela Simpson was grades 3-4 attendant, Adeline McMaster was Little Miss, and is it Kane?
Kane, yeah.
Yeah, Kane Collar. I think you had him on the
He is
show.
awesome.
Little Mister.
Did you get to meet him yet?
I didn't get to meet him, but you got him on the show. And
He is so
he seemed
fun.
like a character.
Yeah, he is.
I will say there was a notable fashion change that was apparent this year.
Okay.
So all the royalty this year have new sashes.
Yes.
They have black sashes with
Yep.
white lettering this year.
I haven't gotten to see them yet, but they said
They
that they're
look-
really cool.
They look.
I don't have a photo of all the royalty, but I do have a photo of the royalty with Neil McCoy. But you can see
Oh, there's the sashes.
Yeah, you
yep.
can see the sashes there. They look great. The black with the white lettering there.
Awesome.
They look great. The ones that they had prior, they were white with the 4H green, which was also nice. It kind
Yeah.
of had a 4H green trim to them.
Uh-huh.
But I guess they were really hard. I mean, they had those every year, and they're really hard to keep clean.
They would be white, yeah.
And so they kind of went away from that and went to the black, which you see some different folks doing, like the colored ones like that nowadays instead of the traditional white. So that was a notable change that I wanted to mention this year. And as you know, Dylan was showing there, the evening was capped off with concerts by, you had Simba Jordan, who's
Yep.
a regional country singer. We've seen Simba many times over in the
He's
city of
awesome,
Wellston.
too.
Yeah,
Love
for
him.
there he is. We've seen him like probably, I don't know, the last decade or something over at the Wellston Ohilco Festival.
Yep.
And then famed Nashville recording artist Neil McCoy. He was there. That was a good picture I got there. He was the headline entertainment there on Saturday. So on Sunday, July 16th, the fairgrounds was a busy place in the junior fair portion of the grounds. A all-species barn meeting was held at 11:30 a.m. that morning with all the 4-H'ers and parents being there.
Yep.
I'm sure
Gives
you
all
remember.
the rules and regulations.
Yeah, I'm sure you remember those.
What
Jen.
not to do.
What not to do, and to
How
keep,
not to act.
yeah, and keep your make sure your animals fed and watered.
Yes.
And all that fun stuff. Keeping the aisles clean.
Yes.
And so they had that, and 2 days prior, the livestock had been slowly being brought into the fairgrounds, and immediately following that meeting, they started processing the larger livestock
Mhm.
through for the weigh-in. So they had that going on throughout the afternoon yesterday. I was out there for, I don't know, 3-4 hours, something. I interviewed a total of 9 4-H'ers this year. It was something that I have been doing since 2019 and
Mhm.
something I have continued as a tradition. I've done 8 every year since 2019. So I've done 32, and then I did 9 this year because they added ducks.
Yeah.
So I had an extra species, and they have got a whole slew of ducks out there, Jen.
I love it.
I think they told me there was like 27 4-H'ers with ducks, and each 4-H'er could bring 2 pens, which had 2 ducks each. So that's 4 ducks per 4-H'er.
Oh
so that's
my.
like, I don't know, 100.
That's
if
a
they-
lot of ducks.
Yeah. So that's a lot of ducks out there.
Do they quack? Were they quacking?
They were quacking and flapping, and because I walked down that aisle and I was just surprised by the number of ducks. It reminded me several years ago when they added the turkeys.
Yeah.
That's been in the last, I don't know, 11, 12 years. I remember when they had turkeys, and there was just, I think that year, like maybe they got the turkeys donated by a local turkey farm,
Mhm.
and they had like a whole slew of turkeys out there that
Yep.
year. And that's how it felt with the ducks this year.
I think the thing that surprised me the most about the turkeys is how big they are.
Yes.
I didn't realize how a turkey would be that.
Right.
They're
Especially
huge.
the toms.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was the little girl I interviewed got her picture with a tom, and he's all fluffed up.
Yeah, they
and-
get all
yeah,
they get all fluffed.
right. But those 4-H profiles, my plan is as long as Telegram editor Pete Wilson's got the space, we're going to try to run 3 of those in addition the next 3 editions.
Cool.
So that will get those all in kind
Love
of a
that.
timely fashion. And they're just they're fun with a picture, and you got the little fun questions. What's your favorite fair food?
Yeah.
How long have you been bringing animals? What just different stuff like that. It's just a fun little 4-H profile.
Yep.
So we'll have those in, and the first 3 should hopefully be in Wednesday. I have them all done. I just need to process the photos for those. So
Good
be
deal.
looking for those. And also down there on Sunday, they had the Queen Tea reception, which is kind of like the goodbye thing for the last year's royalty. I talked to Angie Eisenagel, who's kind of the Queen director down there, and she told me that they had 24 different groups in attendance with 85 visiting royalty and 51 chaperones.
Nice.
And they tried to get me to eat, but I'd already had something. But I did have a cookie and a bottle of water.
Well,
so
that was nice.
I did have something. The evening entertainment last night was autocross there at the grandstands, and that was new this year out there. And I seen some pictures on Facebook, and I'm sure Todd or somebody was out there taking pictures, and you could just see these cars like flying over, like, you know, the piles of dirt and stuff. I'm sure that was.
Pete was going to enter his car.
Yeah, I'm sure that was interesting.
Oh,
Oh, did you forget about it? You forgot. He forgot about it.
Sorry to interrupt here, but it turns out I was wrong. Jeremiah does have a photo of the
Oh,
Queens.
here we go.
Okay, so this is the 2023 Jackson County Fair royalty, and we can go here from the left because I got a cut line. Should be Natalie Allison. She's the grades 9 through 10 attendant. Jasmine Clarkson, who's the first attendant. Fair Queen Madeline Fannin, and then you have Rebecca Shaw, who's the second attendant. Natalie Hightower, who's grade 7 to 8th grade attendant.
That's Nevaeh.
Or Nevaeh.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Natalie. It's fine.
Nevaeh Hightower, who is grade 7 to 8 attendant. And then it should be Abigail Cooper, grades 5-6 attendant. Michaela Simpson, who is grades 3-4 attendant. Adeline McMaster is the Little Miss. And there on the end, the all suited up there with his green 4-H hat. That's cane collar. He's
And
the
I'm
little,
not allowed to say he's
little
cute. He's
mister.
handsome.
He is a handsome little fella
He
there.
is handsome,
all suited up.
and chill.
He
is
showed
what I
up.
was told
Yep, that's right.
by him.
Yep. So that was pretty much a rundown of the fair up till yesterday. You know,
Cool.
Today is Monday, July 17th. It's Kids Day.
Yeah, lots going on
lots
today.
going on out there. All children 12 years and under get free admission and rides. During the day today, there's music, there's concerts. You know, Batman and Wonder Woman will be out there at some point today.
Yep.
And there's don't forget about the Midway. You'll have the rides and games and food vendors and all that going on.
All the good stuff will be going.
Yes, and down in the show arena today, you got the 3 kinds of poultry going to be in there shown. So this morning, it's probably going on now still. The duck show is going on, and then you'll also have the chickens and turkeys today as well down there. And that kind of kicks off things in the competition in the show ring. And then we'll have the other animals going throughout the week.
Yep.
So there's your rundown of the fair. And we can't forget tonight they will be doing the announcement and awarding of the 4-H general projects.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be
Very
happening tonight there too in the show arena, because that's important a part of
Very
the
much
fair as
so.
well. Because some kids can't have livestock, or maybe they live in town, but they can do general projects and
Right.
still participate
Still
in 4-H.
participate.
So I'm going to turn my chair
Absolutely.
over to Pete Wilson here.
All right. Thanks, Jeremiah.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Pete Wilson. I need to know where you were yesterday morning about 10 a.m.
Yesterday morning, about 10 a.m., I was here.
So you were not driving a semi-truck down the highway?
No, I was not.
Okay. Whew. I was afraid it might have been you.
No, that was not me. That was not me. But anyway, Jennifer,
Somebody was.
we'll get to that in just a minute. But this came out from the Ohio EPA just at 9:32 a.m.
Okay.
And they have issued a statewide air quality advisory. And this is we've visited this before. That's because of smoke from the Canadian wildfires. The smoke is still
Okay.
there, or they're still burning or something, or
Ugh.
the atmospheric conditions are such that it's a problem again. It is in effect through today, Monday, July the 17th.
Okay.
Ohio EPA quotes, they expect the air quality index to be in the, quote, unhealthy area for sensitive groups for unhealthy ranges. When air quality is in this range, people who are in these sensitive groups, often due to medical conditions, they may experience health effects during outdoor activities. And so if you are in this category or might be in this category, might not be a great time to
Okay.
get the vitamin D that, we're all supposed to get.
Yep. Maybe
So-
spend your time inside today.
Anyway, that was as of 9:32 a.m. this morning. Real quickly, I know Jeremiah covered some fair stuff.
Uh-huh.
I do want to say that Neil McCoy did indeed arrive on Saturday.
Yay!
And yes, the rain did put a hamper on the attendance, no doubt about it.
I think
But
the whole world was there, though, weren't they?
it was a good crowd, especially considering the weather situation. And he was a great entertainer, very connected with the crowd. Brought the fair royalty up on the stage.
That's cool.
And he also Wade Goheen. Simba Jordan was the lead-in concert.
Yeah.
And Wade Goheen, a lead guitar for Simba Jordan, happens to be from Jackson County.
Oh, cool.
That's Simba Jordan performing right there. And I'm not sure whether that's Wade to the right or not. But Wade graduated from Wellston in 1982, and his hometown is Colton.
Nice.
So that was another connection. And also, remember, the concert was sponsored by Total Media.
Yes.
And it was Total Media Day. And of course, J.J. Hell, the director of radio operations, and Rodney Porterhouse Tomlin had the honor of introducing Neil McCoy and Simba Jordan
Sweet.
up there on Saturday night. And, look for the radio crew. I think several different representatives, including Matt McKee, who's on the air now with Matt and the Morning Crew show. He will be up there for remotes as well as others. Each day this week through the end of the fair, I think the broadcasts are pretty much mid to late afternoon on WKOV 96.7 FM. But anyway, although the rain was not ideal, and of course it rained harder earlier in the day, it's pretty steady, the concert did come off very well. Neil McCoy did just a super show. Red Thompson Jr. was there. As you know, he is a discerning country music,
huge music lover,
country music connoisseur, and he was very impressed at the fair. Got Neil McCoy and with how Neil McCoy performed at the fair. A couple of other things about the fair, real quickly, that maybe might not have been reported. The Sonic Rhythm Academy. That's from the Bart Wiseman Foundation. That was not on the fair schedule, the printed schedule, but it was booked some time ago. It is 5 p.m. tonight from the main stage. The Sonic Rhythm Academy, of course, provides opportunities for local youth to learn music from big-time volunteer musicians here in the local area. It's a great way to get young people who may not have had that opportunity or that exposure, get them on a path where they may be the next Ben Davis Jr.
You never know.
So wonderful program in honor of the late Bart Wiseman, and I'm sure that is exactly how he would have wanted his legacy, one of his legacies to be. Also, this was kind of like a late add-on. Wednesday is Senior Citizens Day at the fair. If you're a senior citizen, you get in free, but there is a big event all day long as well. Lisa Warrens is kind of in charge of that. And this event is going to be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. In the White Block building, the commercial building, not the 4-H building, because it's been there before.
Yep.
So that's going to be in the White Block building there in the front of the fairgrounds.
Sure.
All seniors from the county can come. Seniors from outside the county can probably come. It's not like you have to have an invitation or anything, but there'll be a king and queen contest at about 10:30. There'll be a free lunch. There'll be bingo opportunities. It's just a day for the seniors to kind of be in the spotlight there. And if you're coming to the fair at some other time, then this 10 a.m. to 2 slot where they're having this special event, it is free admission all day for seniors. I want to mention that the Vinton County Junior Fair is in the wings. We'll have some coverage on that in our Wednesday paper, even as we're just starting the Jackson County Fair, because they are bumping each other one week right into the other one. As a matter of fact, their Queens contest will be on Saturday, and in Wednesday's paper, we'll have some photos of some of those candidates for Vinton County Junior Fair royalty, and we'll be naming them later in the week as well, and it'll be in the paper on Wednesday. Of course, we'll have a lot of coverage from the Jackson County Fair as well, which, of course, Jeremiah has talked about before I was on the air. Now, you were asking about the runaway semi. It was an incident. We're still getting some of the detailed information.
It was crazy.
I understand that you were kind of front and center there, Jennifer, for that.
Yeah.
You picked a great time to need to go to Chillicothe or Columbus or wherever you were heading.
You're not kidding. Yeah, I got right in the middle of that madness, but didn't know what was going on at the time.
Well, Dylan has put the one of our pictures up that we have because Jeremiah Shaver was on the scene, as he often is, very dedicated to get out there and get this out quickly on social media and on our website. That is the jackknife semi that took law enforcement officers through
For a ride, for sure.
through 3 counties for sure, maybe 4. I've heard both. But that semi was reported stolen initially in Greene County, which is to the west of Fayette County. But Fayette County was where this pursuit started with law enforcement, somewhere near Ross County, or might have even been in Ross County, but the Fayette County people were aware. Okay, it went through Fayette County, parts of Fayette County, into Ross County, all the way through Ross County and into Jackson County. This was in the bracket from about 9:30 Sunday morning to just before 11 when all this happened. But the Highway Patrol, which was one of the agencies involved, as you know, they would be out there on U.S. Route 35. They put out stop sticks at Richmonddale. And of course, what stop sticks do, they disable a vehicle because it flattens the tires,
Sure.
it deflates the tires. And that's exactly what it did to the semi. I know early in the pursuit, there were some high speeds involved, we understand. But
That's scary.
right, high speeds involved, but as the semi had to slow down because of the tire situation, the driver made one last evasive effort to turn towards the median, maybe turn around is what he was thinking of doing, or maybe he was going to ditch the semi and take off on foot. But by then, there was law enforcement officers from all over the place.
It was crazy.
involved.
There were cars. It was just like that. It was like, yes.
The Jackson,
and not like in a goofy kind of way. I mean, there were law enforcement officers everywhere, cars everywhere.
Yeah, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office was at least one of the local agencies involved, as I'm sure the Jackson Post. That's probably maybe no more than a mile from the Jackson Post where that happened.
Yeah, it was close to where you get off the highway there.
Right, that is between Lloyd's Bridge Road exit, which is not too far west of Jackson, and the Chillicothe Pike exit, which is right on the edge of Jackson. This chase was in the eastbound lanes, but the truck ended up in the median and actually blocked one of the westbound lanes. And I know that's what you needed.
Yeah.
You needed the westbound lane
Yeah, we're
yesterday
trying to go
when
toward Chillicothe
when you were heading out of town. But the road was not closed very long. It was restricted to one lane for a while, and then it was closed after no more than an hour, if I remember my notifications there. But the bottom line is we're going to have to get some of the detailed information.
But the truck was stolen.
It was stolen out of Greene County
Never
for sure.
heard of that before.
We heard that. We heard that from a local law enforcement officer who that's reliable information, but the official source is going to be the Ross County Sheriff's Office, which must have been the central agency on the pursuit.
Yeah.
And we have reached out for information there, but we do know that the name of the suspect is Stephen Nykirk. I may not have said that last name right, but he's 44 years old. We know that we think he's from Greene County, and he has been charged with 3 different felony charges: resisting arrest, fleeing and eluding, receiving stolen property because of the stolen semi. That is the charge you often see instead of auto theft. You see receiving stolen property because they might not be able to automatically prove you stole it, but they can automatically prove you got it.
Yeah.
So
you're in it,
right.
driving down the road.
Exactly. And so he is in the Ross County Jail facing those charges. We do have a story online that got on pretty quick. We certainly commend Jeremiah Shaver for being out there in the field to get it. He passed along information to me here at the office. We were able to write it up and get it out on our Facebook and website. And there's a video as well of the tail end of the thing. And we hope to get more detailed information later for the website and, of course, for our Wednesday print edition.
Well, I'm going to have to say that's probably one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen on a Sunday.
Oh, exactly.
Or just in general.
Right.
Yeah.
Some other quick things we want to tell you about, Jennifer, because we're running out of time.
Sure.
There'd be more paving being done in the city of Jackson. I know people always want to know where that is. The next streets are kind of on the north west side of town. The streets involved are Boyd Street, East Mitchell Street, the section of Kaufman Street from High Street to Chillicothe Street, the section of West Street from East Mitchell Street to Wood Avenue, Of course, when they're paving in these areas, they're not going to be paving on all those streets at once, but it could be
Correct.
happening right now, even here
Yep.
this Monday. There'll be no parking signs posted. You need to obey those
Yes.
because they can't pave if the cars and the trucks
They're not
are
going
in
to
the
pave
way.
around you.
Right, exactly. Some other things to tell you. We're going to follow up with a report from the Jackson County Crusade.
Yeah, I heard it went really,
Alex
really
Shope
well.
was busy working for me over the weekend, as was Jeremiah Shaver. And unofficial report, we heard over 1,000 people there,
Yeah.
maybe as many as 1,300. Remember, this
Super
is in
cool.
Cavernous Alumni Stadium,
Yeah.
and they had to deal with an outdoor event in rain as
And rain.
well.
Yep.
So, a really good turnout for a first event. Another event coming up that we want to tell you about that's kind of on a short list, pun intended. The next Paws on the Patio event will be at Michael's Ice Cream Store right here in downtown Jackson.
Okay, very
And that's
good.
going to be on Wednesday afternoon from 12 to 2. Jennifer Hughes and the crew from the Dog Pound and maybe other volunteers will be on hand with those pooches that are so
Yes.
adoptable. And you can have a chance to meet them, look at them, maybe even consider adopting one. And the dogs will be glad to get out. I don't know whether the dogs are going to get a bubble from Mika or not.
I mean,
My guess would be is they would take it if they could get it.
I would say you're right.
But through these events, they want to bring as many dogs as possible, and so they need what they call volunteer fosters.
Yes.
So if you're willing to, go out and pick up a dog, take a dog back,
Hang out with them for the day.
kind of be a temporary foster parent for just part of one day.
Sure.
The Dog Pound would appreciate it, and it might get a dog a home. That number to call out at the Dog Pound is 740-286-7262. Once again, 740-286-7262. And of course, if you want to adopt a dog or see the dogs, that's the place to call as well.
You got
Michael's
it.
Ice Cream Store right across from the courthouse in downtown Jackson. That's 12 to 2 on Wednesday.
Love it.
Okay, and don't forget the Homegrown Happy Hour. The next edition of that, edition 4, will be on Thursday, 7 p.m. at Rowdy Smokehouse, and the performer will be Cole Gannon. We have other things to tell you, but wait till later in the week, Jennifer.
Well, very good. Well, thank you, Pete. And I know that you have a very, very busy week ahead of you, and we'll keep you up to date on all of the fair stuff the best that we can.
All right, very good. You have a great day.
Hey, you too. All right, have to get out of here for the day. We appreciate you all so much for tuning in, and we'll be right back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
This just in.
The Telegram News has a new website.
thetelegramnews.com.
Same dedicated coverage.
Same trustworthy news with a brand new look.
Covering Jackson and Benton counties and surrounding areas.
Locally owned and operated, theteleGramNews.com has its finger on the pulse of the community.
Stay up to date on local events, high school sports, and breaking news.
TheTelegramNews.com.
Subscribe today at theteleGramnews.com.
Check it out.